How do I start off this video right here? This is a love-hate relationship because it's like when you have your favorite basketball team, and I don't watch any sports, they used to be the top dogs, man. Every year they win a new championship after championship. You're rooting for them, you have the jersey, you've been going on bids, looking for like signed basketball. You love this team, and then year after year, they're getting better and better. All of a sudden, it's like a decline. It's like, whoa, what's happening to my favorite team? And you're still a believer, you're still wearing the jersey, you're showing up, you're buying tickets, but they're not winning championships. This is how I feel about the Acqua Di Gio line. This used to be the champion, and now this entire lineup, to be quite transparent with you, has been getting more disappointing over the years. I'm hoping, kind of like that diehard fan, I'm hoping one day that they get back to the top, maybe get a new creative direction, try something new, because at this point in time, it feels like nothing but heartbreak. So let's talk about the superstar that started the entire lineup, and that's Acqua Di Gio EDT. This one right here used to be my signature scent. When I smell it, I get nostalgic memories of my high school years, of my first date potentially. I think it was my first date around this time. Let me smell it. Imagine you smell it, you're like, oh wow, my first date. This one right here is the most sold men's fragrance of all time, and you have to give it credit where credit is due. This was one of the first oceanic, fresh, clean kind of fragrances. Literally, it stood the test of time to the point where it's the top 5 most sold men's fragrance on the market today, trailing behind other fragrances that are doing a much better job today, like Bleu de Chanel, Dior Sauvage, Versace Eros, etc. But this fragrance right here, the reason it's still so successful is because you have older people who've worn this fragrance at one point in time who just keep rebuying it. When I go to my office, some of them know I love fragrances. They're like, oh, you like fragrances? I'm like, yeah, what do you wear? They're like, I wear Acqua Di Gio, or some people say Acqua Di Gio. And they're literally like, oh man, yeah, when it finishes, I just buy a new one. This is literally why that fragrance is still a top contender in sales. People just keep rebuying it because they're used to it. But today, to be quite honest with you, if you're looking for a fragrance, whether it's your signature, your first fragrance, or just adding something to your collection, I don't think this fragrance is worth it due to the fact that it lacks in performance and it smells outdated. This fragrance right here will literally remind ladies of their fathers and uncles, and I don't know if you want that kind of impression, but this is literally what this fragrance smells like. The reason I have this in my collection personally is because it's just a signature scent of mine at one point, and it just brings back nostalgic memories. But if I didn't wear it at that point in time, I don't think I'd be buying it today. So the only way I could recommend you picking up Acqua Di Gio Eau de Toilette is if you want to pay homage to a piece of fragrance history, or if this was your signature scent and you just want to buy it for nostalgic reasons. Next one we're going to talk about is Acqua Di Gio Eau de Parfum. This is, I'd say, one of the most disappointing fragrances I've ever had in my entire life. And this is one of the fragrances that taught me to trust my gut feeling. I remember watching a bunch of reviewers like, oh man, Acqua Di Gio Eau de Parfum smells so good. Compliment Polar, Compliment Beast is so good. It's, oh man, the comeback of Acqua Di Gio. And then I smelled it at first and it was like, is it really that good? I'm not sure. That's what my gut was telling me. And then I was like, nah, man, you know what? You just got into fragrances. You really started becoming truly passionate about this. Just buy it and trust the reviewers. But then you learn a valuable lesson, and that's to trust your gut. I love the opening on this one. It smells so bright, but then the dry down is where this fragrance just collapses. It smells like urine and sweat. Like it's a combination. It's like a musty, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not good when it comes to the dry down. And I learned that the hard way. I got 3 different girls, 2 of them in my office and 1 for my retail gig. And all 3 of them gave me negative reactions towards this fragrance. One girl in my office, she didn't say it verbally, but like she came to my desk and I noticed her facial expression change, and I was like, what's going on here? And she like kind of moved her nose a little bit, and I was like, maybe she smelled something else. It can't be Acqua Di Gio Eau de Parfum. Next thing you know, and this was the most embarrassing one, I'm having a meeting with my manager and she's like, oh, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do that. We wrap up the meeting and she goes, oh, one more thing, by the way. I'm like, yeah, what's up? She's like, don't wear that cologne to the office again. I was like, bro, what? Like, I was like so shocked, because it was like we just went from extremely professional to like just literally bash my fragrance. So it was like, don't wear this again. And literally after a meeting. So it's like, it was on my list. It's like, I'm gonna also let him know not to wear this cologne. And the third one was from when I worked retail. I had another girl who was like, that's not good. You smell weird. Like, I don't know, there's something weird about it. Like, this has garnered me one of the most negative reactions when it comes to the girls. The opening is gorgeous, but the dry down is where this fragrance falls apart. I would not recommend this one to anybody. The reason I still have a little bit left is because I'm scared to wear it. Like, after going through this entire bottle and getting so many negative reactions over time, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave this for potentially a future review, but I do not recommend this fragrance right here. And then we have Acqua Di Gio Parfum, but of course I cannot include this without including Acqua Di Gio Profumo. So pretty much what they did here was take Acqua Di Gio Profumo's DNA, switch up a couple of notes, repackage it, rename it, and then you have Acqua Di Gio Parfum. To me, I have a love-hate relationship with this fragrance due to the fact that I love Acqua Di Gio Profumo the way it is. And I just don't find this one to be as a great performer as this one. When it comes to ladies' reactions, it doesn't do as great as Profumo. And I'm paying more for this when it comes to the retail price. So to me, I feel like we've been cheated by our money. It's like, hey, we know people love this fragrance, repackage it, rebrand it, reformulate it, and now we're gonna make a cash grab out of these guys. So is it a bad fragrance? Not really. Like, it's good, but it's just not great. It's not the masterpiece that it used to be. So if I had a choice and I'm able to get Acqua Di Gio Profumo, I'll pick this over this one 100% of the time. In fact, I'm still tracking down backup bottles on eBay. So Acqua Di Gio Parfum in a nutshell, it feels like a reformulated Profumo, an increased price point, and just a repackaged version of this one right here. And then we have Acqua Di Gio Absolu. Now personally, I'll be transparent with you, I bought this fragrance 3 times. I returned it twice, I bought it again for the reviews. I admire one thing about this fragrance is it tried to be different. It tried to be more geared towards the youth. So they kind of combined like that Paco Rabanne Invictus kind of DNA, a little bit of a fruity note combination with some freshness, and then you get Acqua Di Gio Absolu. In my opinion, it kind of comes off like a blob. It's like too, I don't know, it tried to be too many things at once and it kind of fell apart. It's like saying, okay, cool, red, blue, and green, those are the hottest colors in the market today. Let's combine them and make something different, but then the color comes out brown. You know what I think about the color brown. It's okay. It's not like amazing or mind-blowing. I'm sure it might do well with the ladies because it has like that fresh, sweet DNA. And I know there's like a cult following for this fragrance right here, but personally, I'm not a fan. But if you are, it's officially discontinued. So if you are gonna buy this bottle, buy it now because at this point, it's gonna be harder to find. And then we have Acqua Di Gio Profondo. Now, personally, the opening on this one is so captivating. Like, it automatically catches my attention. It smells fantastic. But when it comes to the longevity on this one, it's really lackluster. I get maybe like 4 or 5 hours of performance on this one. It's a good scent, but I don't see it being versatile. I feel like it's really summery. Like, I don't see myself wearing this fragrance all year round. I'm sure there's a lot of people that love this fragrance, but when I compare it to other blue fragrances on the market like Bleu de Chanel, Dior Sauvage, YSL, EDP, those 3 fragrances perform much better than this one, and I believe they garner way more compliments. And when I compare it to Versace Dylan Blue, I feel like Versace Dylan Blue offers way more value than this one and has more longevity. So although in my opinion, this fragrance smells great, I feel like there's so many weaknesses to this fragrance that it's just hard for me to recommend it. So now that we have the entire lineup right here, we're gonna try to break it down and tell you which ones are my favorites and which ones I recommend and which ones I don't recommend. So the first one, if you're able to get your hands on this one, Acqua Di Gio Profumo, is discontinued officially, unfortunately, but if you're able to get it on eBay for a good price, this is the best one, hands down. It's truly a masterpiece, and I'm not wearing a black t-shirt to match this fragrance. This is a fragrance that could be your signature scent. It's long lasting, fresh, garners a ton of ladies' compliments. It's classy, it's sophisticated. This is to me peak Acqua Di Gio. My second favorite in the lineup is going to be Acqua Di Gio Profondo because it brings back that Acqua Di Gio EDT DNA, it modernizes it, and it gives more longevity than the original. Although this is not a great performer, I still do believe that this is a great fragrance for the summertime. Third one I recommend is Acqua Di Gio Parfum. Although I love Profumo and I would take Profumo over this one any time of day, any second, any moment. If somebody said, I'll give you 100 bottles of this one versus 10 bottles of Profumo, I will take those 10 bottles of Profumo. Again, this is like the wannabe dream girl. Profumo is the dream girl. She's like a 10 in every department. This is the wannabe, and she's commanding more of a higher price. I sound like Kevin Samuels right now, but yes, I would still take this one, but it would not be my first choice. And then from here, honestly, I would avoid the other fragrances personally. Acqua Di Gio EDT, although I love it, it was my signature scent, brings back a ton of nostalgic purposes, performance is lackluster, and it smells outdated. Then we have Acqua Di Gio Absolu. I do give credit to this fragrance for being creative, but I just feel like it was lackluster and didn't deliver. But again, that's just my personal opinion. It has been discontinued. If you want to get it, I recommend getting it now because it's going to be harder to find. And then the one I don't recommend at all, I would just say run away from this fragrance as fast as possible. It would be Acqua Di Gio Eau de Parfum. Again, the dry down on this one is one of the worst dry downs I've ever smelled in fragrances. It's one of the few fragrances that has garnered me a ton of negative ladies reactions to the point where my manager told me not to wear this fragrance. I really don't recommend it. I'm literally scared to wear what's left in this bottle because I just don't want more ladies attacking me and telling me I smell bad. No cap. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Acqua Di Gio lineup. And if you did, give it a like, leave a comment below, and make sure to subscribe. Have a good day, guys.